1 year can feel like an eternity when you have a terrible roommate. And my roommate and I could not be more different. She and I fight over 1 degree on the thermostat because she likes it hot and I like it cold. She studies in our dorm room, I study in the library. I'm awake at 7 o'clock in the morning and she wakes up 5 minutes before class starts. She and I could not be more different. But we didn't have time to assess these differences because we met on Facebook and we needed to scramble for a roommate and we didn't have a platform where we could talk. Unfortunately, this problem plagues not only UNC, but also campuses across the country. Starting college, as freshmen, when our very foundation is ripped out from under us, we need consistency. Because terrible roommates can lead to terrible years. Thankfully, our company, Four Corners, does just that. We pair highly compatible roommates together with a game-like QR code that leads to a personalized survey matching app. Essentially, it's Tinder for roommates. And we're providing this service to all students in college, specifically first years, and we have the potential to expand to graduate students.
So remember back to that time when you were 17, 18 years old, just graduated high school, and you're receiving in the mail a package with your acceptance materials. Imagine if you had this QR code with you then. A game-like structure, so it's not bored. You've already completed high school classes, you don't want to just waste your time again. The game-like structure of gray or black squares that you answer with the 25 questions on the back to create the QR code of your personal information. You then will scan that QR code that you see that you made yourself into our app to take all the binary information at once. Then, if you want to, like Ashley mentioned, there would be a slider where you can pick, do I like it cold? Do I like it hot? All the qualitative data that can't be binary, you would put in at that point. And then you create your profile, you put in your preferences. You might say, do I want to be on North Campus or do I want to be on South Campus? You put that information together, you can filter how compatible. You might want 90% of all the similarities with a potential roommate. And then you work towards that and you find that roommate. Better than Craigslist and better than Facebook Marketplace. But what sets us apart from them, and why should you pick us instead of the other menial places where it will turn out bad?
We acknowledge that there are so many platforms that are in place to find roommates. Carolina Housing uses StarRez, Granville Towers uses RoomSync, plus there's a million social media platforms like Facebook where you can use to find a roommate. Well, what makes us different? Those processes cause survey fatigue, and they do not tailor their technological experience to technology that people in our generation are used to. And those questions that they use are stale and outdated. Four Corners is the first to the market with low startup costs and high scalability. And the thing that gives us an advantage over the competitors in this market is that we have a personal relationship with the university. So we can tailor the roommate matching experience to the university as well as the individual users. We uniquely customize the user's experience with hyper-localization, hyper-personalization, and hyper-customization so the user can indicate things like rent preference or the specific amenities that they want in their building.
And to get this level of perfection that we want in our program, it takes costs. As you see, we pay our developers and our executives $75,000 and $125,000 in year one. In year one, our costs are $1.2 million. That's why we will fundraise $1.5 million from investors to cover those costs. But the revenue in year one is $3.3 million with a margin, as you can see up here, of 64.9%. We think that's a great margin, but in year three, it gets even better. Year three, we project 79.1% margin. Our revenues grow year over year over year as well, from 2.1 million all the way up to 12.7 million, over 6 times as much. But our revenues come from 3 different streams. They're from the universities that pay for these to be implemented into the acceptance packages. We get them from ads, so you might see Suck Dogs or an apartment complex advertising to UNC students, paying that advertising fee. And also from in-app purchases that a student might pay to get a better experience and premium features. We also recognize that 2/3 of our revenue in year one are coming from universities. That's why we'll be expanding into other university markets by advertising costs of $225,000, $450,000, and $900,000 in years 1 through 3. We believe that as we expand into more markets, we can get a larger user base and expand exponentially due to the online technical feature and high scalability.
You've seen the numbers and you have heard the facts. This pain point of incompatible roommates can lead to a terrible first year of college. And so many different platforms have attempted to solve this problem. Four Corners is so special because it is affordable, it is personal, and it is effective. It is different from all of these other software programs and other social media platforms.
Now,
And this is why it will excel when we introduce it into the market.
now just think back to the time that you were a freshman student in college. Would you want to go back to a time of distraught and pain, or would you want to use Four Corners? Thank you. Any questions?
It sounds like the pain point is really for the students, but it's the university that would be funding it. So what makes you believe that the university, although they might not have the most ideal roommate matching program now, they still have one that's effective? What makes you think that they would shift their entire platform and fund something like this?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about our product is that it gives the universities control over the process, but at the end of the day, they give the process over to another company like they've been doing. And the head of Carolina Housing, he was also talking to me in one of our empathy interviews, and she was saying, he even said, our technology is outdated, and we are trying to find a new software system to upgrade. And he also said too that this has been in place for, I think, the past, like 8 years. And so, of course, with technology is ever changing year by year, and so this is something that we can update the system and tailor it to the user's experience.
So with the new alternative, we see that the money is there for them to spend. They're not having to create it out of nowhere. It's not going to have to be a fee that students have to pay an extra $5 in their enrollment. We also know there's a push for the universities to help the students. There's that understanding that the university needs to be doing more. So if $5 a student their freshman year is to help them in that sense, then universities have that inclination to fund the ground level up.
Because the cost is already incorporated into the university budget.
Can you go to the app store? So whenever you're swiping through on the nah yes one where you're on the Discover page, would you be shown like any of their information, or would it be judging based solely on appearance?
There actually is a compatibility score that will tell you based on the binary information and the qualitative information that you provide as well, how compatible you are with them. You can also filter out. I might say I only want to live on North Campus, so it'll filter out everyone else that only wants to live on South Campus. Or I don't like smoking, so someone else that says I smoke every other day, it'll filter them out. They won't be compatible with me. So there's already a layer of filtering beforehand. But then there's also other information that you'll be able to see below to tell you more about them to see if they'd be a good option.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we were trying to just pull it up, but basically there's a link where you can go to their social media if you prefer to talk on that platform. You could look at their profile, or you can message them directly through the app.
And the reasoning for that is you want to provide almost too much information to where you can actually get to know them and kind of have those barriers broken down, because in the end, you're only trying to find one possible roommate. You're not trying to just get to know a bunch of people. You're trying to find one person that will live with you for a year. Go ahead.
You mentioned premium features, so what would those be?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
You mentioned premium features, like an upgrade to enhance your experience. What would those entail?
Yeah, so basically the premium features would be like new emojis and things, so like makes it easier to talk to people. Also be like more control over the experience, so you get to like see more people, get to like more people, because like on Tinder, like you only have like 25 swipes a day, something like that. we would have something similar, and we would allow you to get more access to the app with the premium students.
So like with the premium access, you get to see like their schedules, like you really break down everything that is like about the person, more than just like texting them like on the messages. In order to get that information, you can just click a button and their whole entire schedule, everything about them pops up, like their semester coming, so you can prepare and see when they will begin and that.
Thank you all for taking the time to hear our presentation today.
Thanks. Good job.